everybody. I'm Steph, and welcome to A Little Bit of Steph. This is episode 7, Through Steph's Eyes. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what I do in the local schools. I am currently in the Santa Rosa, north end of Santa Rosa County of Florida, and I'm trying to get my foot in the south end as well as Escambia County and some of the surrounding areas. So what I do in the schools is I go in and I speak to the kids about what it's like to live with a disability, how to overcome adversity, and not to bully one another. So I have some different devices here that I'm going to show you today, so that way you can kind of get an idea of what it's like for me each day. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to do an interactive filming just like I would in the schools, in case you want to show this video to your children and have your children participate along, because I know right now finding things to do for them is a little difficult. So hopefully this will help everyone, and it'll help your kids learn to understand as well as accept and respect people with different types of disabilities. So hi kids, I'm Miss Stephanie, and the first thing I want you to do is close your eyes really super tight, okay? Everybody close them really tight. Okay, so when you have your eyes closed really super tight, you probably don't see anything but darkness, right? I bet. So you can open your eyes now. Even when I have my eyes open, that's how I see, because I can't see at all. And if you learned about Helen Keller this year, because most children learn about Helen Keller in 2nd grade, you would know that she is totally blind as well as deaf. And she was a really intelligent woman. So, and someone that I admire greatly. So we're going to start first with my device that is called my pen friend. Okay, and just so you know, I have everything set out on my table so that I know exactly where everything is. So if you see me feeling around, I'm just trying to make sure I don't knock my stuff off as I'm picking it up. So the pen friend, it just looks like one of those big pens like this, where you could push down the different colors at the top and you can write different colors. It's kind of like that, or those really cool big pencils sometimes that have different cartoon characters on them. But mine is a little special, because mine was made for someone like me who lives with total blindness or any kind of visual impairment at all, because some people are not quite like me. Some people just cannot see certain colors, or just can only see a little bit or see shadows. So we can all benefit from using this pen friend here. Now, what the pen friend does is it comes with different labels, and kind of like little miniature labels. I don't know how much you can really see that on the camera, but it's just a little label. And then I have these on all of my DVDs here at the house. I have these on all my spices in the kitchen to help me cook. So different ways that I can do this. And so I just put the pen right on the label and it tells me what it is. So I'll do that one more time. Garlic salt. Garlic salt. So I know when I'm in the kitchen cooking, I can use the garlic salt. Now, another example. This came on here, the little plastic piece that's on the salt. So this is not from me, but it's just an example of how I can use certain other things in the house, which will be on another video one day. So for example, if I have like different canned foods, in order to know which ones are which in a line, I could always put a label on a piece of paper and staple a piece of paper around a rubber band or something like that, and put that on the can, So that way, however many cans are behind that, when I touch the pin to it, I would know those are green beans or those are red beans. So that's how I find out what's in my cabinet. Okay, and let's see, I'll save the cane for last. Unfortunately, I'm not able to show you how I use my phone exactly right now because I have to use my phone to film these. So I wouldn't be able to show you that today, but I'm gonna figure something out and I will show you one of these days. But I do a lot from my phone. It has voiceover on it. I have an iPhone, and so that's built in. So everything I do on my phone talks to me, and I'll show you my laptop as well. So, and before I do that, I want you to know, along with the lines of the cooking here, as well as washing my laundry, things like that, I use what are called bump dots. And they're just little dots that are, for example, on my keyboard so that I can feel where the certain letters are. So on my stove, I have bump dots so I know where to turn my stove to for the top of it. And then for the oven part, I have the buttons. So I have bump dots on my buttons and I know which one turns it on, off, different buttons or different bump dots for each button so that I know which one is which. They're on my washer and dryer so that I can do my laundry by myself, things like that. Everything that I need basically in life, I have different devices for so that I can still do things the same way that your parents do things. So I'm sure that some of you like to get in the kitchen and cook a little bit with your mom and dad or grandma or big brother, big sister. So that's what I get to do. I like to go in there and enjoy cooking as well and make pies and cakes and cook meals too, like pork chops and things like that. So I use my bump dots as well as I use them for my keyboard to help me do everything I need to do on my laptop here. Now you won't be able to read everything that's on the screen here, but I'm going to talk you through it and explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it so that you can listen. So even though you may not be able to read everything, if you listen closely, you're living in my world, okay? So I'm going to pull open and make a document, and with that document, I'm gonna write a little message for you, okay?
Search box edit W. Word tab. Press right to switch preview.
So I'm pulling open a Word document.
Enter. Open it dash.
For some of you that may not know what that means, that's just opening a page so I can make a note.
Escape. Document 1 dash Word. Document 1. Print view edit. H. Shift enter. Vertical E. H. H E L O space E E E V E R Y O N E. Exclaim. Enter. Enter. I space O E E space Y O U space A R E space A V I N G space.
I am writing your message.
Space G G space G R E A G space D A Y. Exclaim. Enter.
Okay.
Hello space marker everyone. Paragraph mark. Page up.
All right, so I'm about to let you read the whole message. So listen closely. I'm gonna read it, go through it twice.
Hello space marker everyone. Paragraph mark. Paragraph mark. I space marker hope space marker you space marker R space marker having space marker a space marker great space marker day. Paragraph mark. Paragraph mark. Hello space marker everyone. Paragraph
so that
mark.
says hello everyone.
Paragraph. I space marker hope space marker you space marker R space marker having space marker a space marker great space marker day. Paragraph mark.
I hope you are having a great day is what that one said. Now I'm going to save it.
F12. Save as dialog. File name called H-E-L-L-O. Tag. Save a tag. Tag. Toolbar tag. Menu tools to move tab. Leaving menus. Save button to activate. Press spacebar. Alt plus S.
So the way it's talking to me, it's telling me if I want to save this document, I can press my space bar and it will save the document.
Space. Hello. Hello.docs. Print view. Edit.
Okay, so now that I have done that, I'm going to
Alt
close
F4.
that out.
Desktop.
Now I'm going to open up my search bar.
Search box. Edit. Type in text. DC web results. Press right to switch preview. Document stash shortcut.
I'm going
Press
to
right
go
switch
into my
preview.
documents.
Enter. Documents. Items view mode H. Hello.
And there's my hello document. I'm going to
Open
open that
dashboard.
up.
Opening dashboard. Hello dashboard. Print view. Edit.
And there it is. It's on hello for you. So that is how I use my laptop, and my phone is very similar. So everything that I do on it, it speaks to me. So one of the things that I do to be able to work, like your mom and dad or grandma and grandpa goes to work, I go to work. And what I do is I work on websites so that I can make sure that people like myself who cannot see and other people with who live with different types of disabilities can get on the internet and use the internet without having any issues. So I test the websites out on the internet for different companies and help those companies make sure their websites are accessible for all people with different kinds of abilities. So that's one of the neat things that I get to do in this wonderful world. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to slide my table out of the way, and I'm going to show you a little bit about my cane, and then I want to just talk to you a little bit more about a couple of other things that I do, okay? Oops. All right, so I have one cool thing that I do want to show you, and then I will. So I'm not going to do anything with it today. I just want to tell you about it because I'm going to make another video that's going to show how cool it is eventually. So this right here is my smart cane. It's called the We Walk. And blind people or people who have visual impairments, we use what is called a white cane to help us and to be able to walk around and do different things, which I call it is my eyes. So this cane, I'll just tell you a couple little things about it, and then I'm going to put it away because this is just a teaser here, and I'm going to use my older cane, my normal ones that everyone has, to show you how I walk with it and stuff, and get some participation going here. So this right here is the We Walk cane. And it was purchased for me this past November for my birthday by several of the really nice people who live in my community for a thank you for the things that I do in the community. So it really, really was nice, very nice surprise for people to go together and buy something for me. There's very few people at this time that currently have any of these canes yet. So I feel special, and I thank everyone who went in together to help me get it. It does different things like GPS. It has a horn on it, so I can ask people to get out of the way whenever I'm trying to walk. It can tell me how much battery power and things like that I have. So I just wanted to show you. It's really cool, and I'm going to eventually do a video on that. I recently got to go speak at the wonderful Rhodes Elementary School, W.H. Rhodes Elementary School, in Milton, Florida, in Santa Rosa County, the very first school that I actually ever spoke at. So I love it. I love going back there every year and getting to talk with the teachers and with all the students. And Honestly, the teachers ask just as great of questions as the students ask each year. So I love going there and having that kind of participation with everyone. But I did take my smart cane with me this time when I went to speak to them. And as the kids were leaving, some of the kids were telling me, "You have such cool devices." So that really had me excited that the kids thought the cane was so awesome. So I'm going to put this up and then I'm going to grab my other cane. One of the things that you're seeing me do on the wall here is the way that I can navigate around my house without having to use my cane. So as long as I make sure that I'm, protecting myself, so that way I'm not running into things and stuff like that, and I can follow along the walls or the countertops. So that's kind of how I do that. And this right here is my white cane. This one's kind of my everyday cane. I'm not allowed to get the other one wet, and in Florida it rains quite often. So I always have to carry both of them with me, just to be on the safe side. But this one right here, so basically if you ever see anyone with one of these, you should know that they are visually impaired, and to please step out of the way if they're walking down a sidewalk or something like that. If you're not able to step out of the way, or if there's any kind of situation like that, make sure you say, "Excuse me, I just want you to know I'm right here," or, because sometimes we may not hear you right there. And so just make sure that you're courteous as far as either stepping out of the way or acknowledging that you are there, or letting that person know that you are there, so they don't run into you or hit you with the cane. So I'm going to just kind of show you right here actually is how you hold it. So there's a smooth end, and then the rest of it is kind of rounded. So what you do is you put your thumb on the smooth end, and the rounded part, your hand goes around. And so I'm just going to take a couple feet each way and just go like this. Oh, I feel the table, so I know it's time to turn around and make sure where I'm at. Okay, and then I'm going to keep walking down this way like this. And then feel where I am for you. There we go. So that is how we use the cane. So one of the things that I normally do in the schools is I will ask for a couple of volunteers. And I don't have any volunteers here today because I don't have any children myself. So what I'm going to suggest is that if any of the parents at home maybe have I have one here and I didn't bring it over here with me, but like a wrapping paper roll or anything like that you can use, as long as a parent's around and agrees that it's okay to do it. You could always practice doing it like that so you could feel what it's like. I definitely encourage people to always try to get a feel of what it might be like to live in someone else's shoes when it comes to anything like that. I have several friends, because of accessibility with the internet, who literally will spend different days being, living in a different situation, so that they can kind of get an idea of what someone else is going through. So it helps them whenever they're trying to understand the importance of full accessibility. And so I encourage that you do this safely with your parents' permission. And I encourage you parents to allow your children to do this and help them understand that there's a difference between learning so that you can be empathetic and compassionate than just doing it to make fun or joke around about it. So just make sure that anytime that you're teaching your kids things like this, that you're helping them to understand how to behave whenever they're doing these type of techniques. One of the things that you could also do at home is you could practice just maybe in a clear hallway where you know that there's nothing that you could trip over. Practice doing your techniques like this with your eyes closed, walking down the hallway with your parents there to help you do that. of course. So that is really neat, and I wish I could be there to help you and to cheer you on, but I'm sure that your parents can help you just fine. Like I said, a hallway without any tables or anything in it would be a good, safe place to do something like this. Set this over here. Okay, all right. So some of the other things I've kind of talked a little bit about in some of my other podcasts, but since the kids haven't seen those and they don't know about this yet, I'm going to tell you. So I'm sure that a lot of your parents watched the show called Dancing with the Stars. And if you don't know what that is, that's ballroom dancing. So you might see all kinds of different dances and different dresses and things like that. And so one thing that I have learned how to do since I became blind was I have learned how to do ballroom dancing. And I can do like lifts up in the air and things like that. And so that is one of the exciting things that I do. I like to go paddle boarding on the beach. That's really fun. If you don't know what paddle boarding is, it's kind of like a surfboard, but you stand on top of it and you use a paddle and you just leisurely paddle, kind of like you're in a canoe, but you're standing on a surfboard type thing. I love doing that on the beach. I just recently learned that I love going frisbee golfing, and my husband took me out last weekend and we did frisbee golfing. I made every single basket, even though some of them took me 8 or more times. I still made every basket, so that was really fun. My husband has taken me to ride bicycles before because they make bicycles that have 2 seats on them. So I could sit in the back and hold on to a steering wheel but not have to steer, and he was on the front and he could see where we were going. So all I had to do was a lot of the pedaling. So those are just some of the different things that I like to do. And I want to remind you that just because someone might have something a little different about them, or they might have to live with a disability, doesn't mean that they're not capable of doing different things. We all have our own abilities. We all have different weaknesses. We all have different strengths. So I just want you to remember that no matter what someone looks like, no matter what someone's difficulty might be, that you always treat them the same no matter what. Treat them the way that you hope other people will treat you, because you want to be nice and you want to do good things. And if you watched my last episode, then you know that you want to throw those good things of boomerangs out into the world so you can catch those right back and be able to be nice to people so people can be nice to you. So I have a few questions for you, and I hope you're at home yelling out the right answers here. But let's see. So just because I live with blindness doesn't mean that I can't cook, right? No, of course I can cook. Just because I live with blindness doesn't mean I can't walk around and go out and about and do things, right? Of course I can go out and about and do things. All right, you guys are having a great answer so far. I'm really proud of you. Thank you so much for doing this with me today. Now, a couple of really important questions for you, and then we'll be saying goodbye for now, okay? So, my next question. When you see someone and they look different than you should always treat them the same, right? Yes! All right. If someone has something a little different about them, or they have to live with a disability, you're supposed to treat them the same as you, right? And be nice to them always, right? Yes! All right, good answers. Now make me a promise today before we say our farewells for now, okay? All right, everybody ready to make that promise? Yeah! Okay, today I want you to promise me that no matter what, you're gonna throw good out into the world and be nice to everyone and treat everyone the same way that you hope people will be nice and treat you, so you can get that boomerang of good back. Is that the promise, everybody? Yeah? 1, 2, 3. today. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll be making some more videos soon. So have a good day, and practice being nice to everyone, okay? Just remember that I learned this from a friend. I recently read it, as a matter of fact, and I started using it. So in memory of his mother, today is Be Nice Day. This week is Be Nice Week. So just remember, when you're throwing that boomerang out, every week is Be Nice Week. Every day is Be Nice Day. Bye.